Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, all U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter members out there. And good morning to our dear President, Donald J. Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance. Unfortunately, today is a day, again, where our government officials are at odds because of the Department of Homeland Security. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are people who are going to suffer because they will not be funded and have paychecks. There are people who are going to suffer because of political ineptness on the part of the Demorats. The Demorats, as you know, have embarked on dismantling this country since the election of Barack Hussein Obama and Joseph Biden into the White House years ago. Such has been pursuing the undermining of the United States Constitution and its diluting and polluting by the appointment of judges who obviously are still abiding by the Obama agenda by having their false rulings and rulings that conflict with the United States Constitution to rewrite the United States Constitution, which is in violation of the United States Constitution itself. The Separation of Powers Act clearly depicts that. Congress and the Senate and the President has the power to change the laws, modify the Constitution, and that's all to it. There's different heats that have to be taken and levels of, scrutiny, levels of debate, and then if bill goes on for an open vote and on to signing, which the president has the right to veto that bill. But due to these judges who have been influenced by Barack Hussein Obama, Joe Biden, and the hidden agenda of the Obama agenda is taken and out there in the open blatantly now with their rulings that are conflicting with even the United States Supreme Court rulings. We have to stand up, look, listen, and observe, because in this world, nothing is for free. Just because a person is in prison doesn't mean he loses his rights as a U.S. citizen. That does not give the right to the Obama, Biden administrations to trample on those civil rights by doing illegal activity, use of COINTELPRO, Project M, Project Artichoke, so on and so forth, which is to experiment and employ different programs and mental programs on individuals. That was ruled out by a D.C. Circuit Court and the United States Supreme Court, those three programs that I just mentioned. So who's violating standing court order but Barack Hussein Obama, a treasonist, an advisor to a domestic terrorist organization called Black Lives Matter Movement Incorporated, Antifa, and those who are loyal to their supporters financially. This, ladies and gentlemen, is sad. Unbeknownst to you and unbeknownst to the administration, these judges and court employees who are loyal to the Obama agenda take and cull through your court filings, evidence to support your claims, evidence to support your arguments, and disregard them, rewrite them under COINTELPRO, and came up with a system to cover it up. The BOP itself is an entity that the Obama agenda had taken such deep root in 2008, February, where I have obtained physical proof of their illegal activity using COINTELPRO, Project M, and the roving bug. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I do have litigation. I am the founder of the U.S. Constitution, protects all lives matter. I will pursue those who pursue to destroy the U.S. Constitution, the Italian American people, Roman Catholics, because this country was founded on Christianity. If you go upon your corner store today, you go upon many stores today, these stores are owned not by Americans, but by foreign nationals. And a lot of these stores engage in price gouging. The money that is made from price gouging is sent overseas to fortify terrorism, to support domestic terrorism. This is why we have price gouging provisions in our municipalities. But if you look at these individual groups, they're there for a reason. Their money came to buy those stores from terrorism, period. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So again, ladies and gentlemen, look at the origin of where this money comes from and where the money goes from the stores that you shop in, owned by people who are not American citizens and are price gouging, taking, literally extorting your money legally and sending it overseas to fortify terrorism. And such terrorism is taken against the United States of America, and such terrorists work in and around you every day. You not know it because they're called sleeper cells. They claim that DHS wears masks to hide their faces because they want to commit crimes. They want to commit legal murder. Well, let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. And this question is good for thought. An individual walks into a DHS office with a Burka on. Is that a crime? No. A person walks into HRA in New York with a Burka on, shows the person an ID, which is required by law. Shows them their face? No. So how can they validate that ID? How do we know that that person who's dressing as a Islamic female is not a male? So why do you want to disrobe the safety and security of an individual who has a mask on? I'm former military, and at times I wore a mask. And at times was put in harm's way in the protection of the United States Constitution. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, you are the voice. You put these people in office. Now let's take them out. I asked Hakeem Jeffries 2 weeks ago. I called his office because I needed some assistance with a matter, and still have not heard yet. Still not heard yet back from Hakeem Jeffries. Still not heard yet back from these individuals who are using AI to hack into people's systems. But what can you do? It's life. But let me wake you up, ladies and gentlemen. There's a war within this country that is a silent war, and that is to overthrow the United States Constitution, take away your civil rights, your right to freedom, your right to religion, your right to read, write the United States laws as you see it, that were enacted by Congress, that were enacted to protect you. And remember one thing, ladies and gentlemen, there are people out there who are willing to stand up and spill their blood for you, because I was one of them at one time and still already, even though I'm partially disabled at this time due to injuries inflicted by corrupt individuals in the government because of my political beliefs. And these injuries, ladies and gentlemen, were inflicted by gross negligence of the Demorats, people who work in and around for the Democratic Party. The vermin that they are, that's why I say Demorats, because we are a democracy. We don't have vermin. We have human beings. We have people of faith, and we have people that fear God. So again, ladies and gentlemen, have a beautiful Sunday. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless America. And God bless our troops serving overseas and on the shores of the United States fighting terrorism. And remember one thing, there's a good old song called Onward Christian Soldiers. I want you to listen to that song, and I want you to digest the language contained in that song. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless America.